You can see Hanzo in particular being very effective, and Carter's had an impact here. So Carter have to find some ways to equalize. You're going to be on the defense here. Running 3-3 with Pizza Demon on that Ana. GRUNTo playing much of the same, but with the Zen. So slightly different here. GRUNTo's comp should be favored. But it's all about this first point hold. It's all about building that nano first for Bermuda.
GRUNTo not going to waste a lot of time. Immediately taking the fight over the point. Bermuda firing on back. Shane getting stunned and focus fired down really early, and down he goes. Unable to get away. GRUNTo finishing that off 6-on-5. And now they just roll on over the classic 3-3 snowball.
Bermuda had to use their bubbles early to purge some of the discords. They were losing the shield war. They played a little bit too aggressively there. When you're playing with Ana versus the 3-3 setup, what did I talk about? You're playing for nano. We've seen it all throughout the season. We've seen it in those compositions before, even more 3-3-centric metas. Or I guess this technically is still a very 3-3-centric meta, but in one where it's used almost 100% of the time. If you're going to play Ana, you can't be taking such aggressive fights simply because you're playing for nano. You're playing for nano on first fight.
Bermuda looking to get back into it. Now they are going to be way behind Transcendence, as you mentioned, because they were on Ana. Now they're swapped over to Zen. And GRUNTo going to pop Rally, moving on forward. Rob just might use an aggressive Transcendence here. It's something that they could get away with. Shane, though, going to fall, and GRUNTo just walking it down at him.
Ultimate weapon lost Rally. He popped Rally when he was so low, thinking they could stay in the fight. But that fight was so done. Your shield was over. You'd already lost players. Now there's no Rally. Now they've lost the fight. This is definitely not a scenario if you're Bermuda you want to be in. You will have a recontest potential. You'll have grab, you'll have bomb, you're probably going to get Transcendence, but definitely still not really the play that Bermuda wanted to have after that disastrous first fight where they tried to take too aggressive of a fight, get caught versus the Zen.
And that's going to be a pause because GRUNTo is down a player. Wub is out of there.
Wub has DC'd. So bye-bye, Wub. We will see you in a little bit.
One thing we haven't really mentioned, the Bermuda logo over time has definitely gone far more arcane. It's very Illuminati-esque.
Well, I mean, Bermuda itself, if you really think about it, the Bermuda Triangle is a very fancy, well, not fancy, but fanciful. You know, it's like a place where people get lost all the time. Apparently compasses don't work. You know, all this crazy things happen there. So I would like embracing the arcane aspects of the Bermuda in a way.
I just, what I want is for them to continually add more ridiculous things to this logo as time goes on. That's all I want. It's a very simple request, but you know, that's what we have here as we wait for GRUNTo to get back to full strength, for Wub to get back into the game where we don't know what's happened. You know, on the bright side, it could just be simple, you know, internet down for about a minute, comes back in. On the downside, it could be a 9-hour power outage.
Could be a 9-hour power outage, one of the worst, because there's no way he'd be able to finish his lab report at all. There'd just simply be no way.
No.
But we are going to be waiting for Wub to get in. And also, not a great time for Wub to drop either, since this is where GRUNTo is looking to snowball. This is where GRUNTo are looking to hold the doors aggressively. They're going to lose the rally out that they were going to have. Look, they have to back up, because Bermuda, they've already re-contested. They don't have his Brigida. Now Wub's going to be there. Have to look for this next fight. And we look at the ults are relatively equal. The backline's even pretty equal. It's all about who's able to get the better engagement with this grab.
From Shatter, coming back in, Graviton, get used here by Spectral. Move back in, self-destruct in over the top. Meanwhile, counter Shatter in from Shane, and that is a fight win and then some in from Bermuda.
Over-aggression by Umte. Umte was hoping to get the pin for the bomb. They trade out ults. Umte gets the Shadow early on the shoot, but he went too aggressive looking for a pin on the barrier. He wanted to remove Chain, and Chain just sees him fly on by, and he's like, free Shatter time. And that's exactly what happened. He drops it, puts everyone on the ground. So GRUNTo's push has been entirely stopped, completely equal. They're going to have to use the barrier in spawn to even get out.
Bermuda using much the same, but it's still usually good on the defense if you can get the offense to burn ultimates merely to gain the right to get through their own spawn gate.
They actually get another Shadow there, dropping in that fight. A little angry from that base off 3 stuff, but they're going to win the fight. They're going to have to use Beat, though, to get out. They're going to have a recontest. They're going to have the rally. There's still plenty of options for Bermuda. The recontest here, they come back out. They're going to have support on speed. GRUNTo maybe going to have to keep going at the doors, try to catch them early.
GRUNTo running over, and Bermuda go out. They get out of the door successfully, moving on in. Ultimate though, under very heavy pressure, just barely able to go in. No, not in time. Wub still chases it down, 6-on-5. GRUNTo very much healed up. Rob driving the Transcendent. Shane again gonna drop a monster hammer, but they don't know if the fall through is gonna be there. They get some, but GRUNTo still holding on tall. self-destruct there. Not really needed, but should be enough for GRUNTo to finish this out.
You know, they roll off the spawners coming back in, but with the shatter, that will secure it. They're cleaning up. So GRUNTo getting the second, and it looked pretty dangerous there for a minute. With Guru drops that grab, Rob had used the early Transcendence, but the problem was they couldn't clean up. They couldn't clean up on there. Chain was so low, he couldn't stay alive to swing. He had his barrier. He had to actually just hold right click the entire time, and then gets finished off. The ults eventually get traded off the health much better for GRUNTo. They're going to continue more forward through second. Bermuda will be coming off also their own. They're going to have to take this fight aggressively because the timing's been pretty fast. This is a pretty fast push for GRUNTo. Not the fastest, but pretty fast.
3.5 minutes, something that gives you time to work here in point C, which is good because you could use a push or two to build up ults. Bermuda, meanwhile, friendly, very aggressive. More chain again, can drop the hammer, knocks down 2. But Rob, there's the Transcendence. Still a good trade for Bermuda. Anytime you can trade Shatter for Transcendence, you're usually pretty happy about the exchange. And just Bermuda getting slow pushed back, and Wub finds the Lucio. This is now better for GRUNTo.
Chain here, going to get picked off here as well. Just charging his part to finish. Reset now. All of Bermuda trying to back up, trying to get in the spawn. They need to keep Guru's energy alive. Don't want to waste any more ults here. GRUNTo will be stacking the cart. They need to stack the cart as close as possible. You see Spectral holding close to doors. You can spam. Rally off ult for Web. And it's a race. It's a race for grab.
Umte gonna drop the Shatter immediately. Putting ult up to the ground and just getting him immediately off the payload. GRUNTo up 1. Self-destruct Eddie coming in here from Salty right over to the crates. Gets 2! It's a well-placed self-destruct. Self-destruct though. Back the other way. Bermuda using the grab. Hopping back onto point. If they can stall a little bit longer, Reinforcements gonna be back on the way. But GRUNTo able to force them in and off the point. It's still a pretty good quick time from GRUNTo.
Salty saving the day once again. Salty's bombs have been consistently strong. He's getting consistently good shield pressure throughout all of the season. He does it there again after that initial fight. Very well played from Salty, keeping them in because Spectral had been picked off early. I talked about how it was the race for that grab. With Spectral going down, there was no grab on the field. There was no Zarya on the field for GRUNTo. So they're able to stay in. Guru was able to put that grab out, but it was too late. They had lost too many players. They couldn't even clean it up if they tried. So very, very good work for GRUNTo. Having a solid offense. Bermuda just not able to find their footing on the defense. Gonna have to get in here very soon. Now gonna have to match that time, hopefully on the offense. Find something different there because they just could not find their footing, especially in a matchup. I think Bermuda, right now, when you compare them to GRUNTo, even with the new addition of Spectral, who's clearly not meshing with the team, they don't really seem to be on the same level on a 3-3 mirror. Even on a Sombra Goats mirror, it's probably going to be trying to force a little bit more esoteric comps, playing some of that, playing more of the triple DPS, playing the bunker, things like that.
Bermuda, though, still a game that they could keep in contest. The problem is, of course, is that Hollywood is usually a map where it's pretty easy to drain the clock down, and even if you don't have a full defense, you get into overtime. It's not a winnable condition for them here, where GRUNTo, they can just play more for stall, and if they do that, they still have 2.5 minutes to get just 33% on point A. So definitely favorable conditions for GRUNTo here. Part of the perks of attacking first. We'll see what Bermuda has in store. They're just going to be rolling out here on the 3-3.
They're winning on 3-3, but they're going to have to mix the swaps here. They can't effectively approach. Look how aggressive GRUNTo are playing with this comp with their spam, because it's almost impossible for a 3-3 to effectively approach. They have to burn so many cooldowns. GRUNTo now going to be backing up. They see that Bermuda, they made some swaps into a more dive-centric. They have the Winston as a D.Va. And now they back it up. They give them the space. Bermuda here going to look for the engage. GRUNTo need to save these cooldowns. They need to save a halt. They need to save a hook. They need to keep those cooldowns that can save them alive here.
Bermuda taking a really long time to rotate around. GRUNTo has to be very happy with this. Already about a minute burned off the clock. And again, Bermuda taking the longest rotation possible. And Spectral still in a good spot to just throw Dynamite up and over.
Even if he gets dove here, he has that shift. He can back away. There's the bubble used early. See, now he's going to be back. He's still going to be in control of the cafe. Wub's about to have Dragon Strike. And with Shu D-Mech, now this hit scan and the Hanzo for GRUNTo, they're much scarier.
And Spectral, again, good spot here. Can just rotate out of the cafe. Dynamite might not be on track, but doesn't quite matter. And the rest of GRUNTo just diving into Bermuda, where Bermuda just suffered way too many losses on entry.
As soon as they had used that bubble so aggressively to get in and Shu had lost the mech, the fight was over. They can't out-sustain that damage. They cannot live through that damage when they don't have a D.Va mech to eat it, to mitigate all that. They also need it for the shield presence. That's just one of the picks you cannot lose upon entry. GRUNTo, they survived the first fight. They're going to have multiple ults already. This is just another eco push scenario for Bermuda unless they find a miraculous pickoff.
And again, Bermuda's just being very, very slow in getting back over to the point. And it's because of the poke damage coming in from GRUNTo, but already hooked to set it up, and Shane just goes to the moon.
He's launched. He's gone. And he was originally from the moon, and Winston has returned. He's gone there again. Now GRUNTo going to pick up here, just a little bit of peeking, a little bit of poking. They know that Shane isn't there to zone, isn't there to get any of that bubble. Block that damage. He'll be back very soon. GRUNTo's still holding on to a lot of ults. Bermuda's still really not in a position they can take an effective engage. With the rally, they can at least get in. They can build the Transcendence because they don't have to worry about a grab. They don't have to worry about any of the Earth Shatter. So they can just build their support ults and look for an engage.
Bob going to be coming out here early from Spectral, back the other way. Under pressure for the Winston, but good way to just use the shotgun, get away, and now can rotate back into the fight. Meanwhile, you have Shane trying to make space as Winston in the cafe, just getting repelled. The pocket onto Wub, really nice coming in from the Mercy. And GRUNTo just repelling Bermuda here. And Bermuda, they're getting down to their final attempt.
They have to come back in here very soon for that last attempt. I mean, even with that engage where they get in with the rally, they just lost people too early. Shane, he tries to get the zone, but they just can't lose anyone that early. They can't have any of those losses, especially if it's a Brigida, because you need the Brigida to roll, to rally on the point. Now Bermuda getting ready to come back in. They're going to have grab. They're going to have all their fight-winning ults. They're going to have their most important ults too, those two backline ults, to move forward and take this advantage. Salty is going to be the hero here. He's going to be the hero if they're going to want to sustain.
Well, open up Dragon Strike, but the Dragon mostly off the mark. Meanwhile, another Bob out and over. Spectro, though, falling, just chased on down. Bermuda diving into GRUNTo. It's a shame, though. Steven still holds on the back. 4-on-4. Graviton out. Shu gonna get 3. And Bermuda will break through here against GRUNTo, but a lot of time was burned.
That's one of those scenarios where you have to actively lose an incredible amount of players early and get no value from ults if Bermuda was ever going to lose that situation. They had Bomb. Bomb is one of the best ults versus a bunker setup, especially if you can set up for the grab. They had double support ult, and when you're running through the double support ult versus GRUNTo in that comp where they don't have any support ults to sustain, you can just walk into them. You can set up your fight.
And remember win conditions overall for the map here. GRUNTo has to be happy with this because they're in a much better spot to drain the clock in the overtime, even if Bermuda is able to full cap. So long as they don't get completely rolled over here in point B, the map is really theirs to lose at this point.
GRUNTo taking this aggressive fight in the choke, not giving them any space, using the geometry for the map design in their favor here. They don't want them for free in here. PTD when he has the trans first, but they don't have to pop it. They don't really want to have to use Transcendence that early, though if they see the opening, they could.
Heavy pressure on Umte, getting knocked around, lucky not to be dead off of that. GRUNTo able to back on out, heal him back on up. Rob real close to Transcendence. Oh, can't pop it in time. Umte bursted down just a second before. GRUNTo, though, still going to try and engage off the Transcendence, pushing forward. They're looking for Shane on the other side. Shane awfully low. Down he goes. But GRUNTo, I still think, suffered too much damage as they dove on into that. But again, it's really good delay.
Investing the bomb there as well, but now they're all going to be going down here. They did get the D-back onto Shu, but this is very, very good delay. Bermuda, you saw how reluctant they were to invest that trance. They did not want to use it. They're afraid that Spectral was going to have the grab soon for the next fight. And Spectral actually is not even that close. He got picked up kind of early. He didn't have a very good build in that fight at all. He's only at 70%. Bermuda coming up soon on 5 ults. They do have 5 ults. GRUNTo going to have to find the grab. They must get grab. They must get trance if they have any hope of staying in this fight, because Bermuda could always still just engage first with their grab. We'll just have to see.
Bermuda coming back. GRUNTo, not a lot of tools in this fight, and Bermuda just gonna pop the rally early, move in the GRUNTo, who counter rallies off on the other side. Graviton in from Guru, pulls in 3. Thing gets down. Shane on the other side, winnable here for GRUNTo, and GRUNTo's starting to turn the tide back the other way. Umte with 2, moving on forward. Salty off on the flank, and Bermuda going to be repelled, and this is quite poor. Even if they have ults for the next fight, GRUNTo has plenty as well, and there's only 30 seconds left.
That's definitely, and you see a stagger that's even happening. That's definitely a situation where Bermuda just takes the fight. You definitely just take that fight. You're running low on time. You know you should have ult add. You need to just go in. You need to just go in and take that fight early. They were probably still expecting Spectral to have grab, and that's why they're playing so passive. They didn't want to all get caught in that grab, but because of that, they're in a last fight, 10 seconds on the
Ajax
clock.
has to move. It's Ajax. He doesn't get caught in the grab. I think he should be able to get over to the point. Shatter on the way in from Shane. And if Ajax got their point, it's moving, he's on the payload, this actually could work out well for Bermuda as they're starting to move forward. This fight, very winnable. Ajax still back in the payload, 2 down from Shu, and GRUNTo, I think, has misplayed this as Ajax just solo caps on the payload.
They win the fight, they solo cap. You see Ajax and Ultimate Web combining there to continue to bring it in. Still a lot of time burned off the clock. A lot of time burned off the clock. Even if that was sort of a misplay, allowing Ajax to get to the payload there, get the point. GRUNTo was expecting to win the fight to stop it entirely there. And even if they don't, look at the time bank. Look at the time that GRUNTo has to build a ult. Plenty.
And I think GRUNTo, they just didn't see Ajax go off over to the right. We saw it from our point of view, but I don't think it was clear to them because the amount they invested, they thought they had everyone there.
They thought they were definitely going to win that fight, keep everyone there. Bermuda building up towards another shatter, building up towards the grab, so definitely ults coming online for Bermuda to where they can continue to move forward. But if they invest them all here on this corner, if GRUNTo take an early fight, the recontest is going to be hard. They can't use too many ults here.
Momentum on Bermuda's side here. Shane under very heavy pressure. Barrier comes in time to save him. Shane turns the corner, drops the hammer, knocks down 3. A well-timed beat from Ajax makes that play happen and keeps Shane alive to drop the hammer.
GRUNTo's still going to be dying on cart. So that's beat, shatter, invested for Bermuda. They're going to have grab, they're going to have transcendence, they'll probably get the rally of home. There's ults. There are ults in this fight for Bermuda to finish this out. But remember, they need to finish with time left in the bank.
20 seconds left. They have to be swift and decisive. They want to have another attack. They open up with the grab. Answered by the beat on the other side. 14 seconds. What's it going to be? Rally in the shatter from Umte. Knocking Bermuda down to the ground. Bermuda.
They're not capping in time, TV. It's already over. They're not going to cap
5 seconds. I think you're absolutely right here. It would be required just a full on C9. GRUNTo, though, doesn't matter. They're going to win the fight. Umte with another shatter. Knocks 2 to the ground. We don't have to worry about extra rounds because GRUNTo, they're going to take this here and now.
So GRUNTo equalizing on Hollywood. It's going to be 1-1 in our final map, our 4th map. It's going to be the tiebreaker here between these 2 teams. Tiebreaker that's not actually a tiebreaker. They're technically a tie. And GRUNTo, regardless of some of those problems they had, regardless of letting Ajax get to the cart on second, overall, the far better team in terms of taking fights aggressively, taking them consistently, and having just continually outbuild also. I think Spectral got outbuilt by Guru sometimes at grab, but the rest of the time GRUNTo was just building ult after ult after ult. Their ult economy was far better, partially because their aggression was a lot better. They knew how to take the fights.
Also, if you want to say what they won this on, they won on their point A defense. Anytime you can burn the clock that heavily in point A, it just puts you in such a terrible position for the rest of the map where you look at it and you go, okay, well, now we have to have the perfect point B, which, by the way, really hard to do given that it's a pretty good point for the defense generally. And even if you have a perfect point B, you still have to go through point C quickly. You need extra time from point A to make your point B and point C actually flow well. And Bermuda, you think back to why their point A attack was going so poorly. They took forever on rotations. They continually just fed free time.
And part of it, I think, was just a comp choice as well, because they were taking long in the rotation, partially because it's extremely hard to get into those bunker compositions when you don't have a support ult. It's very hard. You're going to lose the shield war. You have to, even if you have full matrix and a bubble, it's very likely you still lose one of the pick off because they can save pulp. It's so tough to get in there without a support ult. So you're playing, in a lot of ways, for a support ult. When you're playing 3-3 into bunker, you're playing for a support ult so you can walk into them knowing that they can't stop you because they have no grab, they don't have any shatters, they have nothing that can bring you back. But it takes a long time to build those if you're just getting instantly picked off, if you're not really taking fights.
So, all comes down to map 4, where, we'll give you the technically explanation where theoretically it is possible to go to map 5, but actually just doesn't happen. One way or another, we'll have a victor here. And for GRUNTo, of course, should they win, it keeps their streak alive, and GRUNTo looks all the more fearsome on the schedule. But for Bermuda, it could be the difference between playoffs and not. So between the 2 teams, Bermuda definitely playing for more, where I think a lot of people would look at this match so far and say that Bermuda has overperformed, especially because of how Carter was playing back on map 1 and map 2. Hollywood goes a little bit more as people thought the series would go. But if they could just channel whatever they had back on maps 1 and 2 and apply that here to Rialto, Bermuda still has a chance.
So we are tied up for both teams, and this is the 1-1 like we're talking about going into Rialto. And we're at an upset potential. We're at an upset potential here where Bermuda could win this series, remove the 4-0 for GRUNTo. That is possible. Realistically, when you see a squad like this as well for GRUNTo, it's clear that regardless of all the flux, that they're taking some time to adjust. They're taking some time to adjust. It's not the same squad we had before. Still having to figure it out, but still very strong 3-3 team. And this is a map, if any map, where 3-3 is still very, very viable despite a shifting meta perception. It's Rialto.
Well, particularly when you look at point A defenses. And I mean, also, it's a very good map for 3-2-1. I would say that if any map, you should be running a 3-2-1. Even if your team doesn't like running it, it's probably Rialto, both offense and defense, where going up against a defense that's running a 3-2-1, if they're cycling ults properly, is so incredibly painful.
GRUNTo looks like they're going to be playing the Sombra Goat setup here. Have Spectral on the Sombra. Very safe comp, but Spectral slept outside the doors by Pizza Demon. Surely he has to be calling to his team. Hello, team. The bubble.
Oh, no!
Oh, no, disaster.
A great dart answered by an even better bubble. Spectral gets out. And what a boon to GRUNTo, where that could have been a much worse start.
A good read for, I mean, it's just Pizza Demon is just expecting Sombra's behind, but after you say that, Chain, following off of that damage, they're going to pick Spectral anyways. They come in so aggressively.
We go through all this effort to save you behind enemy lines, and this is how you repay us. Well, Spectral's out of it, and this is a pretty good start here for the offense of Bermuda. GRUNTo just trying to buy time for Spectral to hop back on in.
They're doing it very well. I mean, Rob was able to make it. They're playing this corner. They're playing how tight this choke is. It's very tough for Bermuda to remove them right now.
Ultimate over the top, and I mean the snipers between Carter and Ultimate desperately looking for a pickoff here. Haven't been able to find it. GRUNTo playing around sight lines very well thus far, and buying time as well. Nano boost in from Rob over GRUNTo. They put it on Salty, and Salty not building a whole lot with that.
But also, they're still not removing them from point. The point's still not moving. See now, Ultimate Weapon, but Salty, he's found Carter. Wub with the bash combining, going to take out Chain. GRUNTo just rotated to a position where the snipers did nothing. The snipers did nothing. They're not running this in, so they can't really effectively break shields. It's just hard for them. It's just hard for them to remove them from that spot at all.
It's good rotations, pure and simple from GRUNTo, where the best defense against a sniper, just don't let them have any sight lines to shoot you. And that's how GRUNTo's been playing. And even you look at this here for Salty, it's been a slower build. They're going to have Graph in the next fight.
Arm Pack coming out, going to keep Rob alive there. Now they have Barrage. They have the Barrage. They can come forward very aggressively as Carter moves onto the Tracer. They just need to set up this Barrage. That's their whole goal right now. We have that Nano Barrage.
Stays down. Graviton not able to be built in time. Salty, I don't think now's the time to do it. You're down 2. You have to back out. There's time for a recontest. GRUNTo just needs to give Bermuda some room.
Ajax is going to get this res here as well, so they're still in the fight, but Spectral dropping the EMP, catching 3. Can they clean up? Because Salty's still very high energy. I think they are going to be able to clean up. They're even going to drop the grab.
Use Graviton. Fall through is going to be there. Salty getting a little bit low. Carter desperately trying to finish it off. Tracer swap, of course, looking for more chaos, but doesn't work out. GRUNTo's going to be able to fully reestablish, even though down ults, and Bermuda, they're down to their final minute 30.
They need to swap. Right now, I don't think this triple DPS is going to work. They had their win conditions in that fight. They were even able to catch several players, but Guru was hacked out of Barrage. They didn't find anything on their initial follow-up with the Barrage. They didn't even use Nano, or they didn't even use Nano effectively. They just didn't have the follow-up. They didn't have the punch to finish up that fight.
Carter under pressure from Sombra in the back, 56 HP, looking for the hook shot. Down he goes. Spectral Fish is off, and that was close. Carter had a real chance of taking that fight. Doesn't quite happen, and GRUNTo 1 minute away from a point A hole.
Chain able to find Wub, get him off, actually take down Wub, but they're going to have the return frag on the Ultimate Web. And the problem is, for right now, this is a scenario where with triple DPS, if you're trading out frags, it's far worse for Bermuda. You can't trade out picks, because GRUNTo will own the point more effectively than you. They will have more sustain than you. They're building up towards EMP. You can't trade anyone out. This is last fight now to determine if Bermuda is going to be picked up or be stopped here on first.
Early hack on the Shane. That's one way to ruin a hamster's day. And yet, over-aggressive trying to finish it off. Winston just walks into the barrage and gets deleted from this universe.
And the beat used as well for Zolik. It wasn't able to save him in time. Now it's on Spectral to try to get this EMP quickly.
The opportunity in over the top. Shane should be back soon, and Shane immediately just rolls over Lucio. EMP though, out from GRUNTo. Rob there right after. GRUNTo, they can still delay for a long time. This is defense on point A. Rialto, Bermuda, they need to do more. They need to find more. Ultimate upside down looking for Rob. Low HP, fighting back. Carter with 2. Bermuda not out of it yet, but again, GRUNTo, they have respawns coming in. The Graviton on the payload pushes Bermuda back. Who's going to stay on there? Shane can't last for long.
Now they're just getting slowly but surely cleaned up. Ajax couldn't get the res. They didn't get EMP in time. They weren't able to have the barrage because of the grab. This is Bermuda getting first help.
I don't agree, and you said as much in the broadcast as well, with staying on this DPS heavy of a comp on Rialto first, especially if you're not getting traction, the other team is rotating well, because as we saw there at the end, even when Bermuda started getting picks, you still have to push a payload. They weren't able to do it effectively, and we didn't even see what would have happened if they got it in to the hardest part to get through as a DPS comp on point A. It's that archway right there that's on screen.
And they just weren't finding enough frags. They couldn't remove the shields. And the one fight they had where they had Nano Barrage, they had a good setup, they still couldn't get it effectively, because the reality is Nano Barrage versus Sombra Goats is you're getting hacked out of Barrage, you're getting slept out of Barrage, they can just drop the barriers on you and shoot you out of it. It's so tough to still get out effectively unless you have some hacks, unless you have a bubble of your own, any sort of effective setup, and they just didn't have that setup. Now Bermuda, they're going to be forced probably to play a bunker composition. It looks like that's what they're doing. Putting Guru here onto the Mei, Ajax onto the Batiste. So it's plain full, let's deny engage, let's look for combo with our halts, and still hope to trade some wars, hope to trade some hooks. Well, actually, not even going to play in the Mei at all. They're putting Guru onto the Hog, it looks like.
It's going to be a difficult ask. I mean, this is the type of composition that can first point hold, but GRUNTo on the opposite end, they're going to run 3-2-1, and I think it's fine. They're going to be in a position where one good EMP should be able to win them the game. They don't have to bring the payload that far. Bermuda is in a very tough spot where they're going to need at least one, if not two, miracle plays to stay in the series and win it.
This comp makes a lot of sense, but as we say that, GRUNTo actually making the swap, getting the risk of their own. Are they going to decide to play double sniper here into this? Play the counter comp? It looks like they are. I like keeping Rob on Zenyatta, but they might be swapping. Oh, interesting. They're going to put Salty, and they're going to go solo tank.
Tay down immediately, and they're going heavy DPS versus Clockwork comp on the other side. Not full Clockwork comp, but pretty close.
Pizza didn't get it picked. Already a lot of sustain down for Bermuda. They don't have the Ana to pressure this guy. Spectral finding another frag there. Spectral getting those frags, getting those important pickoffs. Now Bermuda have to play around the corner. They need to play the shield. They look for the hook. They will get robbed. That's a very value pick.
They get robbed down, but Wub is trading up pretty well here. It's good poke coming in. It's forcing Bermuda back. And GRUNTo's still getting payload progress all the while as this is going on. And Wub just devastating the backline right now.
Spectral's on this flank, getting contested by the Torb. Ultimate actually contesting him. Salty trying to play this high ground. For GRUNTo, they can save up all their ults. They can save up all their ults. Ajax use that amplification matrix, try to wield those should war, try to get a pick. Doesn't find anything right now. So they've already used one ult for Bermuda. They're burning off time slowly but surely though. And
they almost have it in the one fight territory from how far they've gotten. Bermuda must now play perfect from here on out. Carter getting poked from afar, down to 25 HP. Spectral moving over, trying to win the sniper battle. Has info sight up, and again, it's that classic conundrum. Do you focus on the other Widow or go for the picks in front of you? And right now, Spectral gets hooked and down.
However, what was found two? Salty has that Dragon Strike, and now they're all down. It's over.
GRUNTo, a well-earned sacrifice. They may have lost the Widow, but hey, look at the far, look at the Hanzo. And that's all they needed on the other end. GRUNTo going to be continuing on their win streak here. Bermuda trying to head back onto point, but Shane down. We'll see how long they can delay. Doesn't look like long, and nope, it's not. It's GRUNTo winning 2-1 here, and again, I'll give credit to Bermuda. A lot closer than I think many would have expected, but the final two maps, very much GRUNTo favorite.
Definitely don't agree with their comp swaps they made either. I think if you're going to play the bunker, you have to play a variation where you can deny a lot of that double sniper, a lot of that spam that you're going to see from Afara, but they really didn't have anything to contest it at all. They had nothing to contest that. They were running Pizza Demon on Ana, who has to sit there and, you're trying to heal, but you're not able to effectively rotate like you are with the 3-3, what GRUNTo did. So he's never really in a very safe position because he's always having to worry about snipers, worry about Faras, worrying about hook combos, things like that. I think it would have actually made more sense for them to play 3-3 and then counter rotate and deny the pretty much the viability of the triple DPS, which is exactly what GRUNTo did to Bermuda earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a key difference between the two teams, that GRUNTo still overall looks more and acts more like you would expect a team at this level to play in terms of composition, swapping, and just general versatility. Meanwhile, for Bermuda, what do we see there? We see flashes of raw mechanical talent, moments where Well, was everything going well? Maybe not. Did Carter pop off? Yes. And look, that's going to be more important as time goes on, as metas shift, and metas continually evolve in Overwatch. And if we're really heading into something that's more DPS focused right now, which we've been seeing in the last few matches, having players of that caliber, it's a really good starting point, something you can build off into the future.
And also, there's still mistakes that can be fixed. You can't fix mechanical mistakes, right? You are just mechanically gifted or you're not. You obviously can grind a little bit, but you can fix team mistakes. You can fix composition swaps. So that's a good omen for Bermuda moving forward potentially. But GRUNTo overall still looking like the stronger team and knowing the meta a lot more, knowing the swaps they need to make. And we've seen that consistently more within Contenders and even Overwatch League is we just picked the wrong comp, so we're losing because we're not swapping. We're not swapping a counter. We think we can just play one comp and win. But reality is you actually have to be a lot more flexible right now.
Very much so. Well, it's been chaos here tonight, as it has been for the last 2 weeks here. The meta constantly shifting. But guys, it's not over just yet. Still one more match to go. We'll be back in just a few minutes.